Welcome back, everyone. So in this video, we're going to talk to you a little bit more around what is cryptocurrency, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of hype around it. So we're going to talk to you around what it is, how does it work, what are some of the most popular cryptocurrencies, and is it a good investment long term? With some of our examples sitting behind it, and it's something I know you have all been asking around. Is it actually safe? Is it worth it? What's the upside? What's the downside? So we're going to take you through it a wee bit more in this video. So we'll start off with just a quick overview in terms of, what is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a form of digital currency, and to be honest, there's so many different forms of it, where companies have, their own cryptocurrencies, and really, guys, you can almost call this tokens. And you look at maybe if you use the example of say an arcade, arcades have got tokens where you have to exchange your own physical currency, so US dollar or euro, to buy tokens to get access to their services or their goods and services. And that's essentially what cryptocurrency is. It's a digital currency that you have to transfer your own funds or physical currency into to get access to other goods and services. In terms of how it works, so cryptocurrency uses a technology that you may have heard of before called blockchain. Blockchain is essentially a decentralized service, or technology that spreads across a number of different computers or users. And basically, these computers or users manage and validate transactions. And really, that's part of the appeal of cryptocurrency and blockchain is that it's greater security. It's validated by more than one person, and it can be validated and processed indefinitely. In terms then of what are some of the most popular current cryptocurrencies on the market, and what are they worth? There's around 6,700 cryptocurrencies that are currently traded publicly, and I think in terms of total value, to give you sort of a high level figure, they're around $900 billion. Now Bitcoin is probably worth around 560 billion, so just over 50% of the total cryptocurrency market is Bitcoin. So it gives you sort of an indication around how popular Bitcoin is, how much in demand it is, and how much more it's worth than some of the other cryptocurrencies that you might have access to. And on the point of I suppose, why are cryptocurrencies so popular? To be honest, there's a variety of different reasons why they appeal to investors, and some of them include, one, investors see cryptocurrencies as the currency of the future, and so they're trying to buy them now so that they're getting them at, and I use sort of inverted commas here, guys, they're getting them at the cheaper price because they believe the price of these cryptocurrencies will soar in the future. So buy now, and it's the cheaper price. So that's one reason. And you can probably see it nowadays where there's less cash at hand. We're all going with sort of contactless payments, and there's less need for actual physical cash like dollar, sterling, euro, and everything's become sort of online transactions. So people are seeing cryptocurrency as a safer way of completing those online transactions. In terms of two, cryptocurrency, as I said, is a decentralized technology, which essentially means, guys, that central banks are removed from managing the money supply. And when you remove the central banks from managing the money supply, this then removes, basically any inflation over time, because central banks can sort of increase the cash flow or the money supply, which then can lead to inflation over time. And obviously, inflation then means that your currency is worth less, so it devalues the currency. And you can see it now with how the macro environment is, with COVID and all of these stimulus bills, that the actual currencies are dropping in value. And as a sort of paradox to that, you look at maybe the US dollar has decreased in price, whereas Bitcoin has increased in price. Okay, so that basically ties into another benefit, which is people buy Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a hedge against the market and inflation. So if investors think the market's going to sell off, they'll buy Bitcoin, they'll buy other cryptocurrencies as a hedge against that, because they know currencies are devaluing, and they'll buy Bitcoin as a hedge against it. It's an alternative really to buying gold. Another point then, guys, is really cryptocurrencies are underpinned by the technology, which, as we talked about, is blockchain. And a lot of investors see blockchain as a more secure method to processing and recording transactions. So again, the security element of it is another appeal to why you would buy cryptocurrency. But I suppose the question is it actually a good investment? Um, Now, personally, the thing about Bitcoin is they go up in value, but to make money or to profit on cryptocurrency, so let's use Bitcoin for example. To profit on Bitcoin, you need somebody else or another investor to be willing to pay a higher price than you paid, okay? Which is essentially supply and demand, all right? But the thing is, you can't make Bitcoin or you can't make profit on cryptocurrency any other way because it doesn't actually generate a cash flow. It's not a good, it's not a service, it's essentially a currency. So it's again supply and demand, which is a benefit again. We talked about inflation. The US dollar can sort of decrease in value through inflation where central banks are pumping more US dollar into the economy. So with cryptocurrency you can sort of limit the supply. You can, as I say, you can sort of manage that money supply a little bit better. The one thing I would say in terms of a con or a negative to cryptocurrency is, again, it's so highly volatile that you could ask the question, is it a good long-term investment? I'll put up a little chart here, guys, of the Bitcoin sort of max chart to give you an indication of the Bitcoin volatility, and a lot of the other cryptocurrencies follow suit in terms of the ups and downs. But like you can see here, Bitcoin in December of 2017 was worth $20,000 per Bitcoin. A year later, you're talking about down to $3,200. And then a year after that, or even today, guys, it's up to 41,000 all time high. So that volatility, some people will say, is, if it's going to be a long term currency or the future of currency, you need to have a lot more stability. And in order to get more stability, you need less volatility. So we need to see a sort of continuous steadiness in the actual fluctuation of Bitcoin. We need to really get rid of this volatility where it goes from, twenty to $30,000 down to $3,000. And once that levels out, once we see less volatility and more steadiness in the currency, that will bring more investor sentiment and more, confidence into the currency. And really, then that leads me up to, should you buy cryptocurrency? And to be honest, guys, it's incredibly speculative. What will bring less volatility and confidence to cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin is key influencers. So you look at some of the points here around Tesla buying 1.5 billion in Bitcoin, plans to accept it. That brings confidence. Suppose the last question is, what cryptocurrency should I buy? There's so many different types. As we talked about, like I think there's over 6,700 different types of cryptocurrency. How do you decide which one to buy? Now, I've broken this down into three sections in terms of what I think is the best cryptocurrency on the market. And for me, the best cryptocurrency on the market is Bitcoin. Okay, it's the most popular. It's the most heavily capitalized. It's the one which I think, if cryptocurrency is to be the digital currency of the future, people will buy Bitcoin first. So then if you're thinking maybe Bitcoin's a bit too expensive, you don't see this as a long-term position, or you don't see it as the future of currency, but you want to get involved with cryptocurrency. You think, you're open to some risk. You want to make maybe some gains on it. An alternative is DogCoin, right? Now, or DogeCoin, as some people pronounce it. But basically, guys, DogeCoin is it's going to be a bit of a fad, to be honest. I think you might get a few percentage gains out of this one before it actually sells off again. But Dogecoin is essentially a fun play. It was created by some software engineers as a play against traditional banking fees, and I think they created it just again out of fun. So this one I don't think has legs, but there's a lot of positive market sentiment around it. There's a lot of pumping of the market. You look at some of the Sky News, and it's all around the markets. Elon Musk, Snoop Dogg, and Gene Simmons send Joe cryptocurrency Dogecoin surging. So you look at maybe the 1 year chart on Dogecoin, so you're talking, 2.002 cent per dollar, or on Dogecoin, before it pumped up to 7 cent at the minute, and it'll probably pump a little bit higher. Some people are talking around $1 to $10, the estimate. So there's a lot of upside there. I wouldn't be going in very heavy on this play, but again, if you want some exposure to cryptocurrency and the big, play and push behind it, this is potentially a sort of growth play you could play around it. Um, and then finally, guys, if you wanted to look at sort of value play, you could look at something like Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is again it's the second most popular cryptocurrency. It's not as highly capitalized as Bitcoin, but again, it has some security around it. I won't go into too much detail there. There's a little bit, guys. You can check it out on the Yahoo Finance or even just Google it. But it's a value play if you want to look at sort of the upside potential. And all of these cryptocurrencies will follow in the direction of each other. So if Bitcoin pumps off news, you'll most likely see all of the other cryptocurrencies pump in the same direction. If the market sells off and gold and Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies pump, they'll continue to pump. So basically, they're hedges against each other. Okay, and what I mean by hedges against each other, essentially, as the market does well, you might see less people invest in cryptocurrency and gold. If the market sells off, you'll see more smart money move into gold and cryptocurrency. So they sort of work against each other, guys. So you might look at the markets today, all-time highs. Most people talk about a stock market bubble, potentially a sell-off. You'll see more and more people move into Bitcoin as markets start to sell off and currencies again go through greater inflation. So gold and cryptocurrency are a nice hedge against that. So guys, that's just a very quick whistle-stop tour in terms of cryptocurrency. What are some of the most popular cryptocurrencies? What exactly they are, what the appeal is, and then some examples in terms of where you can buy them, at what price, and what I think the best ones might be in terms of the best suited, the highest growth potential, and again a value play. So hopefully, guys, this has helped you out a wee bit. It's given you a bit of insight in terms of what this cryptocurrency craze is at the minute. Again, if you've got any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section, and we'll see you again for our next video. Thanks, guys.